Welcome to Audible Interlude, a G.I. Joe podcast. I am your host, Dave West, codename Santa Troublemaker.
And I am your co-host, the first Noel Wood, codename Crapshoot.
And I'm your Cobra intern that forgot to put the parking brakes on the Cobra mothership, codename Legion Cub.
Oh.
And this is Mandalorian Jedi, who doesn't know the definition of the word brevity. Let's do it. We've got some stuff. That reminds me. Okay, Noel, start us off on a little Ross conversation. Let's pick up what we were talking about before we started, because I've got to send you fellas something.
All right. I think Kristian's been the one who's been finding like the gold at Ross, it seems, lately. I think since the last time I've been on, I haven't found anything new, but except for another experience where I found Velocitron Crasher, and again, the line was too long for me to deal with standing in it. So, but yeah, Ross has become quite the treasure trove for not just us G.I. Joe collectors, but for getting people into some other lines they might not otherwise have bought toys from.
That is very true. I have a bin full of Transformer bots now. I am now into Star Wars Black. I wish I could find that Crasher because I would gladly stand in that line for you. But the only Velocitrons I see are the I can't think of their name, the motorcycle and the all black version of Skids.
Yeah, and I'd actually, if I saw that one, I'd pick it up. I haven't seen it yet. I did see Blur, and I considered picking it up, but again, I think that was the same one with the Crasher, and I just didn't want to deal with the line.
And the thing is, like, I was never a toy hunter at Ross before. Like, if I had to go in for, to get like shirts or something, okay, I'd walk over there, but I can't ever think of a time when I ever found anything. And it is now, at least for the 3 in my area, if you go in the morning, there's different stuff at night, because mostly I can go at night after work,
Right.
like around 9:30, and they are pulling the bins out and restocking during that time period. So that might also be why I've been so lucky, because I've gotten another Crocmaster.
That's what I've been looking for, is ever since I heard there was Crocmasters, because
I'll keep my eye out.
Yeah, if you see another one, because I again, just to have a second crocodile, because
right,
you're not going to just for 2 crocodiles,
right? Yeah. You will never get a crocodile that size for $12,
right?
I think everybody has seen the Tiger Force Outback.
Seen it there.
Oh, Dave, you will be happy to know that Slaughter's Marauders Barbecue continues to sell out. Like Tomax and Zaymot are still on the shelf. Stalker is still on the shelf. All the Scarlet Baroness.
Do you know why? Because everybody heard my suggestion that you use that Marauder's body as a troop builder, and they're like, that's a great idea. That's going to be my Joe Army unit. So I've seen nothing in Ross. Tomax and Zaymot. That's it. There is still glitter all over the place from a couple of weeks ago from that stupid ornament. I've seen nothing worthwhile at all. All this stuff, but fellas,
good job, Ken.
If you'll bear with me for just a moment, I have a theory. So here's what's happening. All of these pictures are going up online at Ross across the country, right? All these Instagram influencers, like your toy shizzes and your feces play and your whatever dumb name all these people have, and they're putting up pictures of like dozens of the same figure they're finding at Ross. Look, it's 20 Crocmasters. It's 37 Grand Moff Tarkins. It's 40 of whatever just showing up at Ross. Look what I've just found easily with no problem at all. Here's what's happening. Here's the real deal. Listen to the words that are coming out of my mouth. Ross has a central store, a show store, if you will, in the middle of the country in their home city of Springfield. So they go to this feature store that doesn't actually get shopped. It's just where they figure out how to put their planograms together. So what happens is Ross goes in, and Ross, by the way, is the owner of Ross. It's literally a guy named Ross. Ross goes in there, takes a picture of 37 Crocmasters, and sends it to toyplayinstagram.com and is like, hey, pal, do me a favor, put this up online and act like you found these in a Ross so people will come into our crummy stores and buy jeans that don't really fit and ugly sparkly shirts because they come in and obviously they're not going to find these toys because they don't actually exist. Haha, it's all clever marketing. You heard it here. It's the truth. Believe me.
Is this Ross? Is he kind of a sad sack paleontologist guy?
100%.
Okay.
I mean, paleontology doesn't pay the bills. I've got bad news for you. I understand we all saw that guy's apartment on TV. That was just a TV show. This is the real Ross. Oh, man. What's going on in the comments?
Feel better?
No, because
Wow.
I still can't find anything at Ross.
That's just it. It's so weird because down here in Florida, I feel like we never get anything. I am always the last one to find something after you guys. And it's usually like months, if not half a year later. The fact that our Rosses are getting all... but I am curious other than Ken, I don't see anybody talking about the Viper 3 pack anymore, the Tiger Force Duke with I know it's not the Ram, but whatever its tiger name is. Like, have those finally sold out? Is that done? And Ross...
Ken Tomlin found the 3-pack a couple weeks ago at Ross.
Yeah, mine was a couple weeks ago as well. So
yeah, so they may be gone. It's entirely possible. KB Jodographs is here. Of course, Springfield. Who's the manager there? John Arbco? In all likelihood. All right, now that we've gotten that out of the way, we got to get down to some business. You are watching us live on the Needless Things YouTube channel. Please like, subscribe, share, and check back every day for toy reviews. Normally, I don't double post. If we're doing a live stream, I usually won't post a review that day, but my Hiss tank got here so late that I wasn't able to post my review last week, so it went up today because I had to get that thing up before Christmas, obviously. And I guess now that all three of us... Now, Noel, have you opened yours yet?
by Hiss tank?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Wow, Noel just left. Did he go to get his
He
Hiss
went
tank?
to get his tank.
So, this thing is a masterpiece. It's incredible. I don't think it could well, okay, I had one little nitpick that I didn't really get into too much in my review. But did you mess with the storage in the back? Oh, look, Noel's back.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Noel just wanted to be by himself on the I don't know if this looks the same to everybody.
I'm looking. I'm actually also watching it on the stream. And
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it looks the same.
Okay.
No, I went to go back to my tab real quick, and I wound up closing it by accident. So, oops.
Well, that's okay. You're back now.
But yes, I think you had asked if I had opened my Hiss tank, and I said yes, I did.
Excellent. So we'll talk about the Hiss a little bit. The electronics are beautiful. The detailing is incredible. The sculpt, everything about it is mind-blowing. I told you guys in our chat, I really do wish I had been able to get two of them because the classic and the upgraded look so different.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, classified, like even the classified figures that so closely resemble their original versions are still plussed up, are still upgraded, are still, a little different. So it's got to be the fully armed Hiss
Really?
for me. Oh yeah.
Yeah, for me, and I can't, most people that know me will be shocked to hear these words come out of my mouth. But the side rocket pieces, I think, were just a bit too much.
Oh, that's why I love them. Because they
And
are
so
too much, but I love it.
I love
Holding
the
yours. I'm
extra
putting mine right there.
extra guns on the turret. I love the canopy gun. I tried with the gull wings. They look fine. There's just something about the cleanness of that
Well, it's
old canopy that
it's seeing that beautiful crystal clear canopy that size in that scale. There's something just really remarkable about it. It almost feels like the gull wing one is we can't really execute the other one at this scale. We've got to add a bunch of doodads to it, but it looks great. It's fantastic. But man, that clear one is good stuff.
and the wheel covers are something that I didn't realize I needed. Like when they were part of the when they were doing like the unboxings and stuff like that, and I was like, I don't know, I like the G1 look. But once I put that armor on, I was like,
yeah,
oh, this is night and day. This is
Ironically, that's the only part of mine that I have the old school version of is the wheel covers. Everything else I've got the modern stuff on. I put both the clear and the gull wing, and I'll probably go back, but I like the fact that the gull wing makes sense to be able to enter and exit the vehicle, because if the whole thing is coming up like that, it seems like with the place with that ladder and everything, it's easier for the driver to get inside with the gull wing. So
well, and you don't have to move the cannon every time, like all the way around.
Oh, see, in my head cannon, the canopy will raise. It doesn't have to. The driver goes into the back, and it's very much a Jerry Anderson or 80s anime where he gets in the seat and buckles in and just
I like
slides
that.
into place.
Wait, we got a good one here. Jeff, Mandalorian Jedi, bumping Jeff out of the way. Jeff Butler, maybe it's Ross from You Can't Do That on Television.
Yes,
the great Les Lie, who played.
You stepped on my joke. I don't know.
I'm sorry.
Now regale us with your trivia.
No, I gotta go get some water.
Cobb Ross, CEO of Ross Stores. I don't even know if that's true or not. That might be a fact. I have no idea. That sounds reasonable. Kevin Riddle, I picked up another one without the figures, but everything else for a great price today from a friend of mine. So now I'm planning on how and where to put them. I could squeeze. Whoa, Christmas ape. Merry Christmas, Christmas ape.
Wow.
In the super chat, which by the way, super chat, well, that gets us to our hat goal. We are now at the hat goal. Hats going into production as soon as this show ends. If I may, great show already, guys. All on point, even the intern. I'm in the market for a pretzel-centered shovel or a tactical shovel. Can you help? One with a compass in the stock and a thing that tells time would be sweet. Merry Christmas, AI Pod. Christmas ape. We're not worthy. We're not worthy.
Christmas ape.
Amazing.
That's a brilliant reward.
We will make sure, because this puts us, the hats are covered. Now we are well into tactical shovel funding, believe it or not. I will make sure, Christmas ape, you are first in line for an Audible Interlude tactical shovel. There's legit. There's merchandise coming. I'm not even kidding about that. Okay. What just happened? All right. The wheel covers would be one way to eliminate a critical point of failure. Absolutely. You don't want any rockets shooting in amongst those treads. So anyway, I actually have a nitpick and a preference. My nitpick is, have you guys messed with the weapons rack in the back?
Yeah, but I didn't get a chance to. I saw people were pulling it out, but I felt I got nervous doing it, so I just
me too.
stopped.
I tried to pull the chair and that, and it just doesn't seem to want to, so I left it.
Well, it's easy enough
Same.
to access it if you pull out the turret, and you can stack the guns inside pretty easily through the hole where the turret sits.
Oh, see, I didn't have any
Well,
problem stacking the
yeah,
guns. It's just that the
it
guns
the
have to
hooks aren't.
overlap.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
guns have to overlap to put them in the, excuse me, blasters. The blasters have to overlap to hang them on the rack properly. And then the little spots for the shovel and the pickaxe are like, they're kind of loose in there.
That bottom piece for the shovel needed to be taller.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So that
something.
it,
They kind
yeah.
of rattle around. But
Yeah.
whatever, it's fine. They do, the rack does what it's supposed to do.
I do think it's weird that the gunner is the one that comes with the unique gun, because the gunner is going to be mounted up in that, in that turret. The tactician is the one that I'm going to have standing on the side, because I'm not going to display it closed up. So he's hanging out. So he's got her gun right now. But I think my favorite feature on it is the fact that even when your lights are off, when you open the back, the lights come on inside. That blew me away, because I was not expecting that.
No, I wasn't either. I thought that was going to be, you had to have something activated, and it just does it, and it's great. Voltage, nothing worse than breaking your toy the first day or week you get it. As someone who broke his Mezco roadblock the day he got it, I agree. Ugh.
I am a bad intern because I have yet to activate the lights on my tank.
You gotta unscrew. What is this business? When I was a kid, battery covers just popped off. There's none of this having to unscrew it. You have to go get a screwdriver now to get a battery cover off. It's a pain. Here's the thing. Let me ask you guys about this. So this little piece of armor that goes on the front of the cannon, I like the design of it, but it really, really bothers me that the Cobra isn't red.
Well, and the one that it covers up is red.
Right.
So that's why I was like, do I want to put this on here or not? I like it.
Yeah.
But I'm now covering up a nice red Cobra
but that red Cobra symbol was a target. This way now, it throws Joe's off. They're like, where do I shoot? I don't know.
That's a good point. I'm putting it back on. You convinced me. Let's go.
Now all they can aim for is the red of her head.
So we got that's actually yeah. So there was talk about the size of this thing and how we just weren't ready for the size of it. But I felt like I've got an idea of how big it is. I know I get it, but when I opened it up, I was like, "Oh, this is larger than I realized it would be." Did you guys have that?
Yeah, I mean, it's not scaled to the original Hiss. It is.
Right.
It's a larger scale to the figures than the original Hiss was. So
well, and that's when they scale up like that. Like that's what the toy companies tend to do.
Yeah, but I have a feeling like the Vamp is probably going to be scaled to the original Vamp. Because it in itself was already a fairly realistic scale with the figures. And did you see the picture that Lenny posted with the Hiss tank next to the Vamp? There's a tremendous size difference, and I think that's great, because to me the Hiss should have always been bigger than it was. But yeah, it's definitely more like tank-like in its current size.
Well, and I'm glad that they went, because as we all talked about when we were kids, the turret came out and what was in there was storage, or we imagined there were troops back there or whatever. And I'm so happy that they actually executed that on this. I mean, it really, and that's part of the reason they had to make it bigger. It's beautiful. It's a thing of beauty. I'm delighted I have it. I still don't want any more 1/12 scale G.I. Joe vehicles.
But you're going to buy them all anyway.
But I'm going to buy them all. I'm just saying, stop making them. Darn it. So let's talk about, did either one of you get the Hiss Fire Team?
No.
So I knew I was going to want to surround the Hiss with as much related stuff as I could, because I felt like it was pretty special that Hasbro was making this Hiss and then was offering stuff to go with it. Like, I just thought that was cool. So the Hiss Fire Team consists of a Cobra Trooper with the, kind of reminiscent of the Bazooka Trooper that came out in the 25th line. every rifle and weapon that came with this set is warped, like curved, just bad. But I like the way they laid out the colors on this one. I think it looks really good. I like that it comes with the Sunbow-esque blaster. And then there's the officer. Again, nice color scheme. They've changed it up a little bit. He has his, you know what I just realized though? I wonder if he doesn't come with the weapon that goes into this holster, but he comes with that holster. But I wonder if this thing can go in there, because this is different, right? That's not the same thing. You probably can't tell. Okay, so no, that doesn't really fit in there. And then you have to put that in his belt. So yeah, just weird. He's got this holster, but not the blaster that goes in it. And then finally, very happy to have another range viper.
You and your range vipers.
It's so good. It's so good. Not quite as good as the Crimson Alley Viper, but just a really, really great figure. And this one moves better than my original one. But my problem with that fire team set is the reds don't match the hiss.
Yeah, I could tell they were definitely darker.
Yeah, they are more of the crimson red, and they do not match.
I haven't thought about it yet, but I'm
the
wondering.
Red, they should have all been this, and they're not, and it's really
I'm going to
annoying.
have to hold these guys up next to my hiss team to see if this is actually the right red.
And they still oh yeah,
because this might be the red that's on the hiss, and they might look good flanking it if that's the case.
Well, these still look really good standing next to the hiss, because there are a couple, like the rockets, some of the color on the hiss is a little bit darker red and does match these, so like they still look good with it, but it's just frustrating to me that they didn't match the red across the board. I wish that they had. But still, it just, I don't know. I'm glad I've got the set, but it should have and could have been a whole lot more satisfying than it is.
Yeah, I kind of got a little FOMO seeing people unpack them and post them next to their tanks, but I didn't need to spend the $100 on 3 figures that
they were $80.
Well, whatever it was, I didn't need to spend the extra money on more figures.
Yeah, more figures where literally every accessory in there was warped.
Yeah.
That was disappointing. Oh yeah.
Who knows?
Also,
Maybe they'll start showing up at Ross in a few months.
Oh
exactly. No, it'll probably be it'll
be Ollie's
Tomax, Zaymot, and Baroness set that will be showing up.
And I'm waiting for the price to go down on that, which, well, we'll get to that when we get to news. Real quick, we got to mention, if you want a shirt like the one that Noel is wearing right now, you can go to our TeePublic store, go to Audible Interlude Podcast on Instagram, check out our pinned stories, and you've got links to order shirts on TeePublic. And I believe the sale is still going on. They're like $16 each, plus shipping, of course. So go check that out. And our next live stream is going to be on January 1st, the new year.
We'll see you next year.
That's right. Well, we'll have an episode out before then, because next week we will be doing a best of 2023 episode. That is our audio episode. So next Friday, wherever you get your podcast, you'll be able to find our Audible Interlude best of 2023. Okay. So we hit the Ross conspiracy theory. We talked about the hiss tank. Any other thoughts about the hiss tank?
Let this be the only one that is that size.
So let's, now that we've got it in hand, we have had a look at what it looks like, how large it is, how much space it's going to take up in our collections. But seeing the detailing, seeing the execution, did it give you any ideas for other specific vehicles? Like, oh man, now that I've seen this hiss and what they can do, I can really picture what this might look like.
first thing that I thought of, and something we've discussed a lot of times, is the Snowcat, because I feel like that's another one that they would scale up slightly larger than the original, version and scale with the figure,
Yeah.
similar to the His tank. And I think that's one that you could potentially offer as a HasLab around the same price point, maybe. And you could incorporate more of like a cargo space underneath where the missile rack is, or something like that. I think that you could do a little bit with that and make that one worth that same price point.
For whatever reason, and this is another one that we've talked about a good bit, and this wouldn't, I don't believe this would be a HasLab. I think this could come in around the Vamp price point, depending on what they wanted to do with it. For some reason, I could really, really visualize a classified water moccasin. Seeing just the rivets and everything and the panels on this, I could really picture a like beautifully, cleanly sculpted, vibrant color. Like it just was clear in my head what it might look like.
Seeing as how they made Copperhead, both versions of Copperhead already, if we don't get a water moccasin in this line, I will be floored. They already have the water effect made from the Fortnite boat to use as a stand.
But if they make a water moccasin, who do you pack in with them? Because I don't think they're going to do any vehicles without figures.
I think you just do like a swamp viper or something. Or maybe you do a color coordinated eel. Something along those lines. Cool. I'd like to see the water moccasin fire team. These same figures, water moccasin colors. Everything must be color coordinated for me. Let's see. So, don't want any more classified vehicles, but I will buy all the classified vehicles. Pulse Premium members got an email. Interesting thought. Wotaj, Major Blood packed in with the moccasin. But which Major Blood? Because I feel like a retro carded Major Blood is a no-brainer at this point. Maybe the one covered in grenades.
Or a Python Patrol Major Blood, because they did the Python Patrol water moccasin.
Yeah, one of the later water moccasins came with a Python Patrol Copperhead.
Right. But since we already have him,
you stick with the eye patch motif and you go with Zanzibar.
No, you don't, because he has to have his swamp skiff.
No.
What?
It's almost the same color. So I think it would, to me, the like Copperhead and the water moccasin are honorary dreadnoks and, dreadnok vehicles. They kind of fit with that whole thing. So living in the swamps.
It would be cool if they wanted to include an alternate label sheet that had like dreadnok stuff to put on it. Mm-hmm. Even like rust and battle damage if you wanted to.
But you would never use it.
I wouldn't. But I mean, that you got to think about the toy photographers, folks.
Right.
Well, I'll ask you guys both. Did you put any stickers on your His tank?
No. I'm not putting stickers on a $300 piece of art.
No. Well, I didn't. Same thing with my Sky Striker. I was like, you know what? I like the way it looks. I do not want to mess up one of those single stickers. Yeah. I am not putting any of those things on.
I have no qualms about stickers. I just don't see where you would use them. And like the tampos are perfect.
I think the stickers actually look cheap on this. Just because they have to have the solid backing. I like the Sky Striker stickers looked really well made. But these stickers, when I look at them, I'm just like, this doesn't look like these are going to stand up the test of time.
Well, and also it looks like they're just going to be a big block of black.
Yeah.
On top that, I have zero desire to use those stickers at all.
I'll put them on my Trapper Keeper.
There you go. I like that idea. So Pulse Premium. Oh, we got to switch our. Everybody remember, Super Chat is now going towards Audible Interlude Tactical Shovels. Not even kidding. So last week, Hasbro Pulse sent out an email to its premium members telling them something big was coming today. And my guess was they're going to do a bigger sale along the lines of what they did the last couple of years, because this year's seasonal sale never quite got as expansive as the past couple of years have been. Like, I was fully expecting to see that Crimson Strike team on some kind of discount, and it hasn't happened, so I still don't own it. And instead, what Pulse Premium members got a crack at was a few older HasLabs. Now, when I saw this, I was very excited because I would buy a Sentinel in a second, given the opportunity. But what was available were both versions of Hero Quest, the Victory Saber from Transformers, Proton Pack, Unicron, and the O-Ring Sky Striker. I think everything except for the cheaper version of Hero Quest are sold out at this point.
They were sold out within, pretty much everything was sold out by the time that I got a chance to look at it.
So yeah, this was probably like replacement stock, damage stock. I mean, meant to take care of damages or whatever. So there, I would imagine there were very few units of any of it, which is fine because there was nothing here that I wanted at all. Like the Proton Pack, I just could never get around the fact that it didn't come with a wand.
I would, if I had $600 that I had to spend on a HasLab, I would totally have bought that Unicron. But I just, I think it was way too much money. And after watching Thu Adams' review of it, I was like, I don't need this thing in my life.
Yeah.
And didn't he put on his social media a while back, unless he has more than one, wasn't he selling one, or was that six?
Probably he hates the thing because it's just giant and unwieldy, and what do you do with it?
But yeah, I mean, it's a neat idea. I built it up to be something more in my head. Like, I thought it was cool when you sent the message saying this is what they did. And then once I got there and saw, well, it's not all of the HasLabs, obviously. And who was this for? I don't know. I feel like it wasn't as big of a thing as they were leading it on to be.
Yeah, well, their good marketing team was part of the 1,100 people they laid off last week. So.
Probably.
Oh, too soon. That's too high. This stupid camera.
I see Wreckship 85's comment there. You're probably in luck.
Read it out for the people listening at home.
Says I was hoping on the I was hoping for the hiss today. Oh well, I will just bide my time again and continue playing Aftermarket Chicken. So I bought two, thinking, best case scenario, I sell this thing and it goes for more than twice what the original goes for, and I pay for this one. Worst case scenario, I just make a small profit, or I just have a second one. So I'm sitting on a second one, but by the time that mine got delivered, because it didn't show up until I think Wednesday, even though it was originally scheduled to be delivered on Friday of the week before, the market price on that thing had dropped from $600 to like $450 on eBay. So they're going down, and I think they will, because the market's really saturated with them right now. You're probably going to be able to find one for $400 to $425 if you're looking hard enough here shortly. I think what'll happen is that once all those people who are flipping theirs deplete their supply, there'll be another tick up on the market, especially after some of the conventions next year, and I think it'll go back up in price again. But right now, keep an eye open, because I think you'll probably be able to get one for not much more than what the original retail was.
Christmas Ape says that HasLab sale goes up tomorrow too. The impression I had was that it lasts both days, not necessarily, and maybe they will put more stuff up tomorrow. I will be sitting there at noon waiting to see, but I don't know. The impression I got was just, if this stuff lasts that long, this is how long it goes. But maybe there'll be some new stuff. We'll see. Payne's Toy Samples, evening all. Good to see you here. So we got to talk about another crowdfund effort. We talked about the his HasLab. We've also got to talk a little bit about Super 7's mothership.
Sorry, everybody. My
Yeah.
bad.
It didn't really make it. Didn't come close to making it.
Yeah, and I will definitely amend my comments that I made last time that I thought that they'll probably make it anyway, but that's when I thought they were probably going to get a little bit closer than 1,700 out of 4,000.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Well, but when you think about it's the holiday season, so the amount of money that people are already spending, where the economy is, the price of that thing, I wouldn't be surprised if they see that the O-rings are a big success, that maybe they attempt this again further down the road. I think we got a good year or two before they would try.
Yeah,
But
you've done the tooling.
right.
You've already put a big investment into it. It can't hurt to try it again.
Well, I don't think they've done the tooling. They've done the development.
Well, they've done the development.
They wouldn't have gone into tooling until they had all of our money. Well, they had all of our money, but you know what I mean.
But we know they've dropped like $500,000
Yeah.
in development on this thing
Yeah.
already. So
It
there's
wouldn't-
something invested. It certainly could not hurt to try again later on.
right. And really, what would they have to lose?
Hmm.
Wotaj, you're going to have to clarify this one. So HasLab is doing nothing to deter scalpers. Give us a little more on this. I'm not quite sure what you're looking for. Wreck Ship 85. Maybe I'll be able to find one at Kentucky Joe Fest next month then. Is there a Kentucky Joe Fest next month? Oh, man. I'm going to have to look into that.
that might give me a reason to go back and visit home, but not visit family.
Is
Is
it,
this the Kentuckiana? Is this the Kentuckiana Joe Expo? Oh no,
that
that's
what
in
it is?
July.
Yeah, well,
we need more from, Winterfest, he
Winterfest.
says.
ah,
I like that name. Is it specifically G.I. Joe? Well, Noel, you do some research. I'll keep us moving.
I
Or
am, because all I
either
can
one
see
of
is
you.
it's apparently
It
a
is.
V103 hip hop show.
Ooh.
this says Kentuckiana Winterfest, Kentuckiana GI Joe Toy Expo, January 27th at the, I'm not even going to try to say that, Springs Conference Center in Shepherdsville. Wow.
Nice.
Where? Shepherdsville.
Oof. Unfortunately, that is the day of the Royal Rumble, and I do not miss Royal Rumbles. As fun as that sounds. All right. But everybody put it on your calendars. Winterfest in Kentucky has Wreck Ship 85's endorsement. So if you're in the Kentucky area, check it out.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Because I'm from Owensboro, which is, like maybe an hour and a half from Louisville. So I should have known where it is. Nope.
So one last note about the mothership, which I would love to see come. The only thing, though, is if it takes 2 or 3 years for them to offer it up again, how much is it going to cost then?
Well, but if they, and I'm not saying they will do this, but if they see that the 7 with shipping included, that $600 price tag is too much, would they figure out ways to simplify it to get it? How can we knock $75 off and make it $425?
I don't know. We'll see.
Now that they have their O-rings, we don't have to include O-ring figures.
Yeah, that's true. Just offer the vehicle, no figures. Wotaj clarifying, I mean, people buying a large number of multiples hoping to rake in big profits. Well, here's this is my personal outlook. If it's a crowd fund, there's no such thing as scalping because everybody had an equal opportunity to buy. Now, HasLab put a five hiss per customer limit. Obviously, there are plenty of ways around that, but this was not a limited product. It wasn't even available. It was available for a limited time, but it was plenty of time. Where crowdfunding is involved, I don't look at it as scalping because everyone had the opportunity to buy it.
Yeah,
So
and it wasn't like
that's a
a
little
short window
different.
either. It was, I mean, you had a full 40 days,
4 or
45
6
days.
weeks, something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, there was this, I don't think you can really look at it as scalping. Now look, people putting it up on eBay and letting it sell for what it sells for, but again, it's not like they ran to the store and bought it before everybody else could, or they hosed up the system with a bunch of bots, you know?
yeah.
It's a different thing. Okay. Oh my gosh, Ken Tomlin spent over $3,000 at Kentuckiana back in July.
Wow.
I definitely don't need to be going to Kentucky then. Holy cow! Unless that $3,000 was on a flag, I'd go for that. Okay, so one last thing about the mothership is, so I signed up for one of the payment plans because I just didn't want to pay that much right now, and the first thing I got back when it was canceled was that they still expected me to pay the interest for the year of the payment plan.
Womp, womp, womp.
But
What?
yeah.
Mm,
This
that's no
was
good.
this was through the Shop Pay Affirm
Mm.
system, but they very quickly cleared that up. But it took
Yeah.
a day. Like a day later, I got an email like it's canceled out. It's whatever.
I had, of course, backed the figure set, the 5 Viper, and yeah, they initiated the refund pretty much as soon as the crowdfunding time ended. But I mean, I'm still like, that's a huge hit to have to refund that many customers, because we presume that 1,700 was just the mothership, but how many people were just like me and just tried to fund the Vipers in case the other one funded?
I bet I would be willing to bet twice as many of those Viper 5-packs sold as the mothership. And I think we will see those in some form, if not single carded, then some other form, maybe painted slightly differently so it doesn't feel like a cop out.
Right.
But I mean, those are, I would say, are going to happen. Little report from Instagram. Do you guys remember who posted this? Because I do not. I should have taken the note, but it says that Airborne. It might have been Yakface. Jay has an alternate. Jay from Yakface has an alternate account that reports on
I
Joe
thought
stuff.
you were commenting on how someone looked there. Dang.
But anyway, supposedly Airborne and Techno Viper are in the U.S., which means they're probably 6 to 8 weeks away from shipping.
Oh yeah. I shared that. I couldn't remember where I saw that from.
I think it was Jay. Is it Jay or Jason? Whoever runs Yakface. I think he's the one who usually drops that kind of information.
But yeah, that I mean, you figure it's going to be, then they'll probably hit Big Bad first. But yeah, they'll be coming soon.
So a little follow up from last week. If you don't follow Audible Interlude on Audible Interlude podcast on Instagram, and why wouldn't you? Kristian referenced this last week. Would you like to explain this to us?
Yes, somebody mentioned Skidmark, and this is from one of the IDW G.I. Joe versus Transformers. And as I told the guys, we can't discuss Skidmark without discussing the greatest scene ever involving him when they cook him up a la V the series and Megatron eats him. So
well, they didn't cook it. He eats him raw.
Yeah. Yeah, which I love. I think it's like the next panel with the Dreadnoks, where most of the Dreadnoks are like, oh, but then Torch is like, yeah, this is great. But so apparently Transformers can survive on more than Energon.
Who knew that there's some Vors out there reading G.I. Joe and Transformer comics?
Right? Skidmark became a Skidmark.
I mean, his fate was pretty much sealed when he got that code name. So we got to talk about something that is Joe adjacent. We've discussed Fresh Monkey Fiction a good bit in the last, But I want to talk about a few of the pre-orders that are up now for the second, or I'm sorry, this is the third wave of Naughty or Nice figures.
Oh, so good. So good.
So I'm only sharing one of the reindeer right now. They have several different repaints with alternate heads, so you can have all 8 reindeer and Rudolph. So there are 4 different reindeer colorways. I liked Prancer the best, but they all are pretty distinctive. Now, obviously, they all have the same sculpt. The heads are different. The antler configurations are different between all of the different reindeer, but you get what you do is you get your 4 base reindeer and then you buy a head pack and swap out the heads accordingly. And this looks incredible, and it's huge. It is scaled to go with their Santa Claus and Krampus figures. So
Tell me though, you can't see. I don't know who yet, but my reindeer is going to become an animal pal for one of my Joes.
I mean, it's gonna be it's got to be Arctic Weather Bazooka or Horror Show, maybe. I don't know,
Yeah,
but that is
I
a
love these.
tremendous looking toy. They also shared Gorgon the Goat Demon, using much of the same tooling, but obviously with different heads. This is a companion of the Krampus figures that Fresh Monkey Fiction offers as part of this line. And then we get to see Father Christmas, which is a different take on some of the other Santa Claus figures that they've done, and definitely, I think, a response to the success of the Four Horsemen's Father Christmas figure.
Yes, and when I saw this, it is, with the exception of the coat ending at the boots, this is spot on the look of Father Christmas at Epcot. Only his
Really?
coat comes all the way to the ground. When I saw it, I was like, I have to own this because it looks just like him. Like his staff doesn't have a curved piece. It's more like that addition, the star piece.
Okay.
But yes, same color green, same wreath hat, like awesome.
Oh, and if you look, it looks, yeah, okay. I didn't realize the top of the staff is interchangeable. That's the star piece you're talking about there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, breaking news. Kevin Riddle, Walmart is shipping my Shadow Tracker and Wolf Spider. I'm down to receive them on the 22nd. I looked at mine today, and mine still say February, but they were in stock to arrive on the 27th and the 22nd. And I left them be because I'm not going to have time to review them anytime soon, so I don't need them to get to me ASAP. So when they come, they come. I'm excited about those two, though. We have a new military-themed Santa with a darker camo. The first one, which is the one that I've got, has the red, white, and green camo, very like bright, colorful. This one is more of a goes on your classified shelf. And
the rocket launcher.
Yeah, I mean, this is just great. And
candy cane rocket launcher.
One of my complaints about the original Sergeant Santa was that he didn't have a trigger finger on his right hand, so he can't hold everything right. This one has more swappable hands, has the trigger finger for both hands. So you've got, well, actually, I take that back. It doesn't look like it's got one for the left hand now. Oh, you know what? Maybe that was my complaint, is it didn't have one for the left hand because I wanted him to be able to hold something in his right hand and his gun in his left hand. There was something weird about the way they distributed the hands. Let's all just agree: closed fists, C grips, trigger finger hands. If you're doing 6 hands, that's what you do. But he's got the camouflage.
Trigger finger, open hand. I don't understand sea hands. if
Well,
you're
you're
doing
right. You're
trigger.
right. You don't need sea grips if you've got trigger finger hands. You're right. You're right. So yeah, let's. Oh man,
Craig
Greg Dukas
Dukas.
in the super chat. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, and yo, Joe, to the AI team and Joe community. Good to see you in here. Everybody, check out Shop Slickalicious on Instagram. Craig, I'm surprised he was able to drop in tonight because hard at work on some new merch. Soon, coming very, very soon here. Thank you for dropping in, Craig. Good to see you, and I good to see your work at all times. So Sergeant Santa looks great. He's on my list. I checked it twice, and he's still on there. So I can't wait to see him next year. And then finally, and again, go to bigbadtoystore.com. That's where the pre-orders are, and you can see the full range of this third wave. These are just a few selections that I thought kind of stood out to me. They are doing a 1/18th scale, 5 points of articulation, so basically reaction style, which they did Nutcrackers and Elves before as companion pieces to the 1/12th scale figures, but now they're doing the main characters, Santa and the Krampus, in the 1/18th scale style, which I really like because these will fit in with all kinds of different toy lines. So, Kristian, I know there's some of these you got to be tempted by.
Yeah, I'm getting the reindeer and I'm getting the Father Christmas. I'm still waiting for wave 2 or the second part, I guess, of wave 1 because my Viking Santa and some
I
of
think
those.
that's wave 2, isn't it?
Was it wave 2?
Because wave 1 was last year. Wave 2 was supposed to hit this year before December, and they didn't make it. They're not going to be getting in until January, and this is wave 3, which will be next year.
Yeah, so out of this wave, it's reindeer and Father Christmas.
Yeah, I definitely want all the reindeer, and I'm going to get one of the 1/18th scale ones. Noel, are there any of these that you're tempted by?
I like the Krampus Red because he looks like the devil from South Park.
Yes.
That's a good point.
Yes. Wow. I didn't even notice that. I was thinking more of the devil from the Tenacious D video. But you're right. That is the South Park devil 100%. Wow. Now I need that one. Wotej, yes, he is carrying a candy cane pew pew. If it's naughty or nice, wouldn't you think they would also have a Mrs. Claus? Actually, they should. I mean, at some point, I feel like they got to get around to a Mrs. Claus, but let's hope they do a nice, dignified, respectful Mrs. Claus and not a Todd McFarlane style Mrs. Claus.
Oh, I was thinking the Twisted Fairy Tales.
Right.
Wasn't that the comic?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh no, I know what you're talking, because McFarlane did like messed up Christmas figures.
No, but there was the Zenoscope
Grim Fairy Tales.
Grim Fairy Tales. That's
Grim Fairy Tales. I actually had a connection there and was reviewing those comics for a while.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we've all done.
Oh, the conversations you and I one day will have to have about that in tarot.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Because once somebody finds out that you have a connection with Zenoscope,
yeah.
Yeah, you get some DMs. All right. Moving on. The Audible Interlude Tactical Shovel coming soon.
Dig it.
Dig it.
Dig it. Oh my gosh.
We need Noel to dress up as Macho Man Randy Savage to do a commercial for the Audible Interlude Tactical Shovel. Oh man. All right. So it's that time of year. There's magic in the air. Santa's on the way. We've got many, many holidays to celebrate, from Hanukkah to Kwanzaa to Festivus to New Year, all kinds of holidays. Whatever, as Real Big Fish once said, whatever you celebrate, this one's for you. But we here at Audible Interlude celebrate one thing, and that's G.I. Joe. And we have some Cobra carols that we need to share. Now, as we all know, the Audible Army are the best fans in the world. We have 2 Cobra carols that were sent into us from the Audible army. So, Noel and Kristian, I presume you each have your Christmas carols ready to go. But do we start with ours or do we start with the submissions, which I emailed you earlier in the show and I hope you have received?
I think we start with the submissions.
Yeah, I was
Okay.
gonna agree.
All right.
That way we can let the people down. Like we can end anticlimactically.
That's true. That's true because these are both solid. All right, let me get into my documents here. Do we want to start? I think we want to start with the more difficult one that, to be honest, doesn't really even work, but we're going to do the best we can. This is going to be chaos because all 3 of us are going at this one at the same time. We are just let's pull up Carol of the Joes.
Does
Oh,
one of
there
us
it
get to
is.
do
Okay.
the ding dong ding?
If you think you can maintain that, go for it. And Kristian and I will handle the vocals. Oh wait, this isn't news anymore. I need to swap that out.
You have a custom Chiron there.
You've got that very right, Rick Ship.
Wait, I lost my comments for a second.
I guess it helps if you're actually familiar with the song.
Cue the Hound Dogs. You don't know Carol of the Bells?
Oh, okay. The Tetris song.
The what?
The Tetris song.
Is that a Tetris song?
I think so. It's one of them that it plays.
Yeah,
No.
Mandalorian Jedi, what have you done to us? I'm glad you're here to experience this. All right. are we ready?
Let's go.
All right. Kristian, do you have even a sense of
I'm going to let you guys start and then I will be able to jump in.
You can come in. Yes,
Right.
absolutely. That sounds
I'm
good.
a harmonizer.
All right. This is Carol of the Joes by Mandalorian Jedi. In 3, 2, 1. Hark, G.I. Joe, real American hero, fighting the fight with all their might. G.I. Joe is here, fighting with no fear. They're on the way to save the day. Yo, Joe, yo, Joe, that is their cry. Deploying their team in battle scenes. With courage they go, fighting the foe, defending what is right from morn till the night. Oh, how they fight with all their might on the land for liberty. Bravely they stand, protecting the land with honor and pride. Yo, 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 Joe. United they stand for this noble land with hearts full of fire. They never tire.
I think that done. I think he was writing about himself there.
He does have a heart full of fire, and he clearly
never
tires. Woo! That was something else. All right, so we've got one more here before we get to ours. And I, you know what I think? I would really like to hear this one from Kristian. Kristian, would you? Do you want to take this one?
I will do my best.
Do you know the song, right?
I do.
Okay.
Give us your best.
Because Eartha Kitt sang this.
Yeah.
Eartha Kitt or Madonna or Marilyn or Miss Piggy.
Yeah.
All right.
My favorite version.
Okay, so this is Santa Buddy by Mandalorian Jedi. Santa Buddy, slip a mobat under the tree for me. I've been an awful good boy, Santa Buddy, so hurry down the chimney tonight. Santa Buddy, an 84 Rattler 2, dark blue. I'll wait up for you, bro, Santa buddy. So hurry down the chimney tonight. Think of all the fun I've missed, 'cause I didn't have these toys in my mist. Next year, I could be just as good if you check off my Christmas list. Do 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 do. Santa buddy, I want a USS flag so bad. I've been a trooper all year, Santa buddy. So hurry down the chimney tonight. Santa pal, one more thing I really need, indeed. The G.I. Joe headquarters, please, not the pit, Santa buddy. So hurry down the chimney tonight. Do 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 do. Santa chum, fill my stocking with accessories, please. And maybe one of those triple T's without a sergeant. Santa chum. So hurry down the chimney tonight. Do 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 do. Come and pack my Christmas tree with the whole figure lineup from the 80s and 90s too. I really do believe in you. Let's see if you believe in me. Do 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 do. Santa buddy. Forgot to mention one little thing. A complete battle platform would make my heart sing. Santa buddy, so hurry down the chimney tonight. Do 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 do. Hurry down the chimney tonight. And I won't have to kill you if you bring all this stuff. Hurry down my chimney tonight. That's it.
Phenomenal.
Oh my goodness.
Mandalorian.
Excellent.
You
Mandalorian
are
Jedi.
amazing.
Great
I mean, not
job,
just
guys.
that, but-
Merry Christmas. Mandalorian Jedi in the super chat. Usually the show pays the writers, but in this instance, the writer has contributed to the show. We are well on our way to tactical. We might have covered the first batch of tactical shovels tonight.
I feel like I'm sorely overdressed for that song.
That was ambitious.
Yes.
That was great. Okay. I don't know who goes next. Well, obviously Kristian will not go next. Noel, you or I? Who do you? I'll leave it to you.
I can start. I have 3 that I wrote.
You have 3? Oh my gosh!
Two of which I'm actually comfortable reading.
Oh, okay.
Or singing along to. So, but the third one was kind of it was the first one I started on, and I was never happy with it. But I did find myself very happy with it with a couple of the ones that I came up with. So
yeah, I'm in the same boat. I did 3. One of them it was terrible. I could never get anywhere with it. The second one is fine, but the one I landed on, I think I'm happy with.
I had
I definitely would do my 2,
and
but...
one I could not make clean enough. So I have 1.
We'll save that for Christmas Con next year.
Exactly.
Well, yeah,
Everybody check us out at Dragon Con.
Yeah, I'll go next. Since that's it, I definitely will do my 2. So maybe I'll start and then I'll wrap up if you each are going to do one apiece.
Okay.
All right. So all right. So I thought about even finding some background music, karaoke style, to go with it, but you're just gonna have to imagine a little bit of upbeat Hawaiian style music.
Oh boy, I like where we're headed.
All right, here we go. Knowing is half the battle is the thing to say on a Sunbow cartoon PSA. That's the special lesson the Joes leave with you as the credits roll away. See the Joes come show up at some random times to help with your nosebleed or pick up power lines. Knowing is half the battle is the Hasbro way to skirt 80s FCC rules. And that's it.
That was amazing.
Phenomenal. I love it. Oh man, I'm jealous. That was so good. Oh man, that was wonderful. All right. Okay, I'm going to go next. We want to give Kristian plenty of time to recover, as
Oh,
well
I
as
need
the
to get my
Audible
stuff
Army.
to get ready.
Oh, okay. Well, you get
Yeah.
ready, and I'll go up next here. All right. I'm dreaming of a Cobra Christmas where we attack the G.I. Joes, where the lasers glisten and vipers listen to hear explosions in the snow. I'm dreaming of a Cobra Christmas with every mustached Joe I fight. May your days be numbered. Now die! And may all your teammates also die. I'm dreaming of a Cobra Christmas with every tantrum that I throw, where the weather is dominated and the mass device is calibrated to see the defeat of G.I. Joe. I'm dreaming of a Cobra Christmas where Serpentor was never given birth. Destro's more trouble than he's worth. And may Cobra conquer the whole earth. Oh, I ended on a sour note there. Ouch.
That was great.
I got lost in it. The Serpentor, when I wrote it, the Serpentor line, like I knew how it went, and then when I got to it, I forgot how it went. All right.
Well, thankfully, mine is not near as long as everybody else's, so you guys do not have to suffer again. Let me well, you guys can't tell that the lighting has changed. I'm going a little more. Hang on.
Oh, I meant to light a candle. I totally forgot. Here, I'll light it. I'll light it for Kristian.
I am going with a little Leonard Nimoy, William Shatner spoken word song.
Okay, I love it.
All right.
I can't reach that.
You know Baroness and Blood and Zartan, Tomox and Zaymod and Raptor 2. But do you recall the most egotistical Cobra of all? Destro of Clan McCullum has a very shiny mask. And if you ask Cobra Commander, he'll say Destro's and hey, we're a family show. All of Mars Industries make pogos to bounce with glee. Destro, the ironclad Cobra, is more egotistical than you or me. That's it.
Beautiful. Beautiful. All right, we got to check in and see. We got to see what our responses are here. We got a lot. Everybody's being very, very kind. The Wreckship 85, the Joe Carroll slaps. Not gonna lie. Christmas Ape, another instant classic. Bravo, Mandalorian Jedi. Mandalorian Jedi. Well, after all those contract negotiations, entertainment is a whole new business. Everybody cheering Noel on. Mandalorian Jedi. This is the best episode ever. Oh, you guys are so wonderful. this was a lot of fun, obviously, and we've got more show to go. Let me close these Cobra carols back
I do
out.
have one. I had my other Cobra Carol.
Oh, that's right. You've got
Oh,
one
yeah.
more. That's
Let
so
Noel-
exciting. Let's
This
keep
one's a little
going.
relevant, I thought.
Let's
So
do it.
I thought, and this one, I spent way too much time on this. But this is one that got rewritten several times before it finally got to its final form. So I'll imagine there's a lot of different versions of this song. My favorite by the Cocteau Twins, but Annie Lennox is another great version. Air Supply does a great version. So this is to the tune of Winter Wonderland. Scarlet's bound to a glider with a ninja beside her. Storm Shadow's his name, karate's his game, opening this silent interlude. Destro schemes, no one's listening. The battle mask, see it glistening. His plans are deranged, his castle will change in this issue silent interlude. In the Balkans, tucked beside a mountain, ninjas guard McCullen's secret base. You'll see blood a-flowing like a fountain when Snake Eyes comes to stab him in the face. Red ninjas, they're all dying. Scarlet saved, heroes flying. They've shredded their clothes, their tattoos exposed, closing out this silent interlude.
That was
Mark this on the calendars, man. The day perfection was born.
that was incredible. I'm so glad we closed with that. Was great. Well done.
My
Well
last
done,
bit of
everybody.
inside baseball on that was I was trying to fit Transcarpathian instead of Winter Wonderland, and I just failed.
Couldn't do it. And it stinks because that's what happened to me with one of mine is I had like one part of it that I thought was really clever, but nothing else about it worked. All right, man, that was great. Thank you guys for putting that together, for doing an awesome job on that. Thank you, Mandalorian Jedi, for contributing, for being a part of the team. Next year, we'll take more contributions, because I think if there's one thing you can say about Audible Interlude after tonight, and that is that we have no fear. There is no fear
No
in this
shame
house. No
or
shame.
pride.
No shame. No fear. Yeah. But that's okay, because we'll have shovels soon to dig ourselves out of these holes. All right. So, as we mentioned earlier in the show, if you follow us on Instagram at Audible Interlude Podcast, you can see all of the newest stuff happening with us and with G.I. Joe. You can check out our pinned stories and get yourself some Audible Interlude merchandise. And you can participate in the show by contributing to a segment we call Sound Off. It's where we take input from you, the Audible Army, and discuss it right here on the show. We had a record number last week. This week, we've got some good conversational stuff. And also, to follow up on last week, we are going to be using a couple of those cues that we didn't go fully into for a future audio episode. They were just things that we kind of already had on the docket a little bit. So if we didn't get to your sound off last week, it is in the books. We've just got to we got to do a little more with it than the sound off segment allowed. Wreckship 85, my wife suggested a version of my grown-up Christmas list about the Hiss tank and or Dragonfly, right? Yeah, that's a very good call. I tell you what, Wreckship 85, write that, send it in next year, and we'll handle that for you. Kevin Riddle, what a great segment. Enjoyed that very much. Thank you, everybody. You guys are so nice. All right, but it's time now for sound off. We're starting off with our pal, Hillbilly Harper. Hillbilly Harper, who, by the way, is not insane. Or is not crazy. He might be insane. He's not crazy. What's your thoughts on the Action Force Vanguard? So I wanted to have some visuals to go along with this. So I tracked down some images of, if for those who don't know, Action Force is part of the Valaverse product line of military-themed 1/12 scale toys, figures. And I reviewed some Action Force stuff on the channel a couple of years ago, and I liked what I got, but it's just not I'm not like military guy. Like, I enjoy fantasy military. I like G.I. Joe for what it is, but Action Force, I found it to be solid quality, and it's definitely filling a need in the market. But just for me personally, it wasn't something that I wanted to dive too deep into collecting. Monster Force is much more my speed than Action Force, but it's good stuff, and I'm glad it's out there. So this Vanguard is the first vehicle that's being offered in the Action Force line. We've seen some images as they've been prototyping it along. I don't know if we've seen a final
Wasn't it at
production
Joe
model.
Fest?
Yeah, he had it at Joe Fest. I can't remember if they were the color versions or if they were just prototypes. But size-wise,
I remember being impressed by it.
Yeah, it looks really fun. I like how modular it is. It's got a lot of different options for arming it up, and it comes across, when we were discussing the possibility of a classified vamp, some folks were talking about, well, do like the 4-seater vamp, do a later version of the vamp, or do a larger vehicle, call it a vamp. And I think this is the sort of thing that people were thinking about. And it's got, I believe it seats 4 figures with maybe one in the back in a gunner position, but I think it's a solid design. It looks cool. And they announced the price in August. In Wotage, I see a tactical shovel there by the front wheel. Yes, you do.
But what does it do?
But what does it do? What doesn't it do? It slices, it dices, it makes julienne enemy troopers. No, I think this is filling a need. It really is. This kind of transport/assault vehicle is absolutely something that 1/12 scale military collectors are asking for. It's going to be available, I think, in 3 different colors: this gray, a desert, and maybe like a green or an olive drab. Don't quote me on that. If my memory serves, it's 3 different colors. Kevin Riddle says it's larger than the Hiss. I think it depends on what angle, because our next image here, you can see it next to the Hiss, and I would say it's comparable. I don't know if
that's what I thought.
Yeah, I don't know if I buy larger, but comparable. And this is the tan version, but you can see the loadout here. I think those top 2 are options. The base model is $184.99. I don't know. Looks cool to me. It's not something I'll be getting, but like I said, it's filling a need in the market. I think it looks like a pretty quality toy. I'm excited to see people get it. I'd love to review one, but that's out of my price range for a thing that won't go in my collection review. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if we didn't have Joe stuff coming out like every week, then this is something I would get. I'm the same with you as far as like the Valorverse figures, but I was really impressed with this at Joe Fest. But money-wise, with the Vamp, with the Dragonfly, Joe's just been putting out so much stuff that I don't have money set aside for this.
Noel, what do you think of this from a more, as far as just a more grounded military type thing?
I mean, it's a neat looking vehicle. It's not something I'm going to need in my collection. I do think it's like the baseline. It just kind of looks like an SUV, even down to like having the roof racks and everything on there. So I think it's kind of cool that it does have, the ability to sort of be almost like a civilian vehicle as well as be a military vehicle. So I like that bit of modularity to it. But yeah, it's interesting to see, because I did see some the pictures next to the Hiss, but I also saw some figures in it. So it does look like it is probably maybe a little bit upscaled from the real thing. But I mean, that's fine. It's a toy. That's what it's that's what it's there to be. Something that just looks cool on your shelf.
You brought up a really good point about it being having the ability to look more civilian. one of my favorite toys that came out attached to the movies, there was a Cobra SUV. I cannot remember what it was called. I can't get to it right now.
Yeah, I know the one you're talking about. Yeah.
Maybe I can get to it. Yeah, I can. Hang on. I'm gonna grab this. Kristian, look at the little parts and pieces here and speculate about some of those things and how cool they are.
Well, so it looks like you've got a rocket launcher, and that was one thing I noticed in the other photo, that you don't have just the blast effects coming out of the front. Very realistically, you have blast effect that comes out of the back to show. And the turret, I think between the two, I definitely would stick with the rocket launchers. And yes, it for real does have a tactical shovel. So
Yes, it does.
that alone is worth $25 of the price tag. And there is that
$25 is the cost of an actual tactical shovel. I'm
I
going to go ahead and
know.
establish that right now.
But the worth of in all forms, tactical shovels are worth $25.
Yeah, that's
You
right.
just can't separate.
Okay, so let's see. Let me do this. So this is, I can't remember what it's called. Mine is dusty. I'm so ashamed and humiliated right now. It's on a bottom shelf. I haven't gotten to it in a while. But this is really cool Cobra vehicle that was basically in the movie in a form, but all of the armaments on it fold up into it.
It's like a masked vehicle.
That's what. Thank you, Noel.
Very much like that. Yes. I haven't picked this thing up off the shelf in so long. I can't remember how any of it works. I know this missile goes somewhere. That pops down. That slides back somehow. There's probably a lever.
You have to lift the front there.
Oh, wait. You know what? You're right. The front pops up. Anyway, I'm not going to sit here and I've broken enough toys on video. Oh, wait. There we go. So that is that just
that makes
open?
Sense.
I guess that's just open then, which is kind of weak, but whatever. But I mean,
Cobra, it's too good to have a sunroof. Dang.
But it's cool. It's gee whiz. Ugh. But yeah, anyway, I love this thing. And so that Valaverse reminds me of that.
Yeah, that's one that I kind of regretted not picking up when I used to see it in the stores all those years ago.
And I don't remember ever seeing it on clearance because I probably would have picked up a couple more, or at least one more, to put it on the shelf in its regular mode. And it is very reminiscent of a masked vehicle, absolutely. So there you go. That's Valaverse Vanguard. Pretty cool. I'm excited to see reviews of it. I'm excited to be tempted to buy one. How about that?
Steel Crusher. That was the name of that vehicle.
Oh, that's a terrible name. I wish you hadn't looked it up. Silent Interlude 4-parter. Do you have a G.I. Joe item on your Christmas list? Vintage? Current? My wife has a classified list for me because it's easy for her to pick up current retail stuff. I'll kick this one off. No, I no Joe stuff on my list other than like my wife knows if she finds anything like kind of weird or esoteric G.I. Joe, she'll grab it. But with Joe stuff, like that's what gets the most views on the channel. So I try to get Joe reviews up ASAP, and that means I get the stuff as soon as I can get my hands on it. So not really anything. If there was vintage stuff, I just can't expect her to keep track of what I've got and what I don't have. But like I said, if she knows anything odd, like if she finds a trash can or something with G.I. Joe on it, she'll get that. But no, not on my list, oddly enough. What about you guys?
No.
I don't ask for anything. I'm like, I just don't give me anything because I buy too much crap on my own. I don't need more crap that I'm not gonna probably use. So no, I have no Joes or anything else really on a Christmas list.
Me neither. And I do the same thing as Noel, not necessarily for the reasons as Noel, but I learned very early on in having relationships with people that are outside of geekdom that when you tell them specifically and show them pictures, they still somehow or other manage to grab the wrong thing. So since I just buy year round anyway, I don't ask for them to get me any sort of collectible.
Yeah, I think when you collect the way that we do, it's just, yeah, I need to get this now. Second part, after getting the classified hiss, I'm a little sad I didn't back the dragonfly, but also really excited for a classified snowcat. I would love to see, although chances are we get a Cobra vehicle next, because I imagine they'll go kind of Cobra Joe. But yeah, I would love to see a snowcat. We've talked about that plenty on the show. Also, I'm hoping that even though the mothership didn't fund, Super 7 will try to make the Aspid Cobra transport chopper with their O-rings. I feel like that would sell well. We've talked about that. I think it's recognizable to the Joe community. I think it's something that could be very cool if they want to make that that cargo pod. They could make that modular, so you could put, depending on how big it is, you could put a ferret in it, or you could put a stinger in it. Like, it depends on what scale they want to go with. I don't think they can make it too big. So I personally, and we can hash this out a little bit right now if you guys want to. I think you make the Aspid, you scale it down some. The cargo pod can hold maybe 4 or 6 troops or a ferret, like right around that size.
Yeah.
I don't think they want to go with anything too big a scale.
Yeah, I was thinking that the max you probably want to charge retail on something like that's maybe like $129. But I think you could do it probably at that price. Maybe throw in, a couple figures with it.
I don't think Super 7 can do it at that price, because if you look at they released a dog sled for $80.
That's true, but it also came with all those dogs, which they essentially counted as a figure apiece.
I think this Aspid isn't coming from anyone for less than $200.
Oh.
That is my guess.
So one of the other things I've been seeing with all of my trips to Ross, all the companies, they're essentially chap may. I mean, I think they all use the same molds. But I have seen in the 3 3/4 inch scale some oversized vehicles, and they are sort of super deformish in that they are not in reality scale to that 3 3/4 figure. But when I look at things like their big surplus trooper or helicopter, I'm like, okay, for $25, this will get in the hands of many people. Now, obviously, I know Super 7 is not going to be able to do something for $25, but it made me stop and think about, to use a Star Wars analogy, do we need the legacy at which, yes, is so amazing and cool and still to this day scares my cat? Or do you need something that's in scale like the vintage AT-AT, where, yeah, it'll hold 6 figures, doesn't have a lot of bells and whistles, but it works just the same?
Hasbro tried that. If you remember, towards the end of Star Wars vehicles at retail, they tried those scaled down. Matter of fact, I've got a scaled down Slave One sitting around here somewhere.
Yeah, but
do you remember what
weren't
I'm
those
talking
scaled
about?
down to where not even a figure would fit in them?
No, the figure fit in them. One
Oh,
figure
it
would
did?
fit in them.
Okay.
I don't think, because G.I. Joe, more than I think any other toy line, is dependent upon the collector community. And I think if you put something like that in front of most G.I. Joe collectors, they're going to fly into a rage. I don't think you can do a scaled down, price friendly Tomahawk.
Well, yeah, I don't mean getting it down to like retail prices. I just mean more in lines with what you were saying, right? Using the Tomahawk as an example, does the version of that now need to be able to hold 20 figures, or does holding 10 figures work just as well? Because as collectors, how and again, it's the same way I feel with a lot of electronics. Yep, they add some cool sparks to these things, but other than looking at them whenever we first get it out of the box, how many of us play with the electronics on them? So even if we had like a troop carrier vehicle, how many of us are going to put our figures inside of it versus we have them on display? And I'm not, I don't mean this to sound negative or bad. I am genuinely curious what other people think about this.
I'll say this. I've got one of the Republic drop ships that they did years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and I had a blast tracking down, because, you know, it came with a pilot, and then you had to buy the navigator, you had to buy the clones to go with it, you had to buy, like, it was all these different sets. And I had a blast tracking down all the figures and then loading this thing up with the troops and the astromech and like everything else that went with it. Like that was fun. And if they do kind of like what they tried to do with the Hiss Fire team, if they make those coordinated releases, that's an exciting aspect of the whole thing. And if it's a cargo thing and it's got specific troops to deploy, I'll load those troops up on it. I'll figure out a way to display that, because with an Aspid, you could have maybe a side cargo door open or whatever and have your troops in there. Same thing with the big AT-AT. Like, I've got that loaded up with snow troopers because it looks awesome.
I do too, only because when I got it, I went crazy buying Legacy Stormtroopers.
Well, and they were affordable then.
Snow Troopers, right? So,
but
I mean, like, I don't
like $6-7, if that.
No, around that time, Star Wars figures had finally hit like the $8-9 mark. But
really,
yeah, but when they were on clearance, they were like $4 or $5.
Yeah.
So yeah, so when Amazon is trying to get rid of all these snow troopers, you're like, yep, I need 30 of these because it's affordable. No one needs 30 stormtroopers or snow troopers. I'm just, but I got them. What are you gonna do?
I like snow troopers. They're fun. Finally, from Silent Interlude, looking forward to issue 302 this week. I just read it earlier today, and we will discuss it soon. We'll try to get to it next week, but we got a lot next week, so we'll see how it goes. I read 302 and I read Duke #1 and enjoyed both of them. Sneezy the Squid! What's up, Gary? Hey, guys. I've been loving Rank and File Card, especially since Mongoose has been adding his real military perspective. It's actually modified my headcanon a bit. Could it be that, with all the Joes being lower ranked than you would expect, is the G.I. Joe program is where the Pentagon sends all the "we know you're a screw-up, but you're too darn good at your specialty for us to let you run loose or discharge, you crazy misfits"? I think we've suggested that in the past, that is exactly the case.
When I read this, my mind immediately went, this is the next G.I. Joe movie. And because this would have been the G.I. Joe movie in the 80s. Like, this isn't 80s. This is Police Academy with G.I. Joe.
Oof.
Not exactly Police Academy.
That's a bridge too far. Let's reel it back in a little bit.
Okay, Revenge of the Nerds with G.I. Joe.
That's way worse.
No, we're going in the wrong direction.
School. What?
Cease.
But yeah, so I think that would be set it in the 80s and totally go this route.
Stripes. Yeah. Just go with Stripes. That still holds up.
But anyway, love the show, Cobra. I never get to do that. And remember, the Audible Interlude Tactical Shovel coming soon to as soon as we figure out how to sell something that's not a printed T-shirt from T Public. All right, where are we? 9:34. You guys, I think that's a chock full show. I believe we've done everything that we intended to do tonight. We had sound off. The Cobra Carols were majestic and memorable. And that's all the time we've got for this episode of Audible Interlude, a G.I. Joe podcast. Our music is by Andy Sanford of electricminnowmusic.com. You can follow us on Instagram at Audible Interlude Podcast. Follow us on X at G.I. Joe Audible. Kristian, tell us where we can find that toy photography you do so well.
You can find me on Flickr and Instagram under the name Legion Cub.
Noel, why don't you tell us a little bit about The Finest?
The Finest is an international G.I. Joe costuming club, and if you've ever thought about dressing up like your favorite Joe character, we've got some guides to help you out on the Finest Finest Recruitment Center on Facebook, or you can check out thefinestcc.com for field manuals. But you can help us raise money for a fantastic organization called Canines for Warriors, which we will be doing at shows all over the country and beyond.
Kristian and Noel, thank you for sitting down and talking about something we love so much, G.I. Joe. Everybody in the Audible Army that was here in the chat tonight, thank you for your support. Thank you for everything that you do. Spread the word about Audible Interlude. And until next time, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and yo, Joe.
Cool.